So, but it works because the system works by using words like an address. It's like, I'm looking for the address of how can a man uh, travel faster than the speed of light without becoming desynchronized with time on Earth or being destroyed, right? That is like the address of a structure within this data, right? It's going to pull the structure out, kind of like a face coming out through the fuzz on the TV. Here's what that looks like within the scope of your training data. I'm not particularly worried about it. For me, like, I'll start off where I started off. I'm not. It's been a long time since I started on this quest to set the workforce free and building all the software for this company, this decentralized company, and all the brands to come out there. And every month we have something new coming out. So as soon as people see us, see what we're doing, and see why I really want this opportunity where you just study for a test, pass a test, and you own a company, a part of a company, and you control a revenue stream that contractually you're allowed to do whatever you want with. If you help us help you, that's your decision. If you take the money and run, that's your decision. I really want that opportunity. So let me look at what you guys have. Let me look at what you guys are doing. Okay, you got one product out. I saw that coming. So I wanted like 12 brands out, right? And so a lot of the time is I've been spending building brands behind the scenes, not really showing anybody what I'm working on. I show a few things. I get really like excited about things. I'm like, look at this. This is cool, huh? But there's certain things that I don't show, and because I really need that advantage to get in there. And it's like, okay, the first time we're seeing it when it's ready to be used. So it's like, it's been taking a while because I have to like live my life also. I have to pay bills. I have to, be a husband. It's like I have to live around other people's expectations. People don't really understand me very well, why I do things. And so I kind of have to let some things go and just go along with the flow, and it takes time out of me getting everything up, but we're getting there. And like I said, it's been like quite a while since 2017 is when I started this, and now here we are, 2024. It's like, whoa, that's a long time. It's not really a long time if you knew what I was doing. Software engineering products can take up to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years, and they go on average 2 times over budget. That's even if they don't turn into a black swan. Now, I'm the software engineer. The only person I'm waiting on is me to get it done. Thankfully, I'm not working for somebody else doing this, although that would be kind of be better because then I'd be getting paid and I could just focus on doing that. But this thing is, it'd be building it for them, and that's actually why I shut everything down. It's because I need to stay out of contract. Contract's very serious. People do have absolutely no idea what they're getting into. Like, well, we see something that kind of looks like what we asked Adam to do in this software he released. We're going to sue him for it, and the judge sees, okay, this looks like the same. Well, that's because I'm a software engineer. I have a way I do things. But I see these problems. If you're going to sue me for a technological advancement Singularity, you have absolutely no idea what you're getting yourself into. I'm not going to let you have it. Even if you actually took me to court, I'm going to go ahead and be a outlaw. I'm not giving it to you. You say you give that to us. No. My answer is no, you're not getting it. But I kind of made things easy by sacrificing my 6-figure income to stay out of contract. See, I made things really easy. So if you want to make them difficult for me, now we're in waters where I'm just going to get a lawyer and okay, like, look what these people are doing. So, one of the things is like, I think one of the questions I think people would have is like, aren't you concerned about things becoming obsolete, out of date? My answer is no. Here's why. What are you looking at exactly to say it's obsolete, out of date? The GUIs, the GUIs libraries are updated like every year. Security, everything updated every year. It's like frustrating. Think, okay, I want the new latest releases that they have, but I've been working on this for 4 years using this. What does the customer see? The customer doesn't see that, right? You can use styling and CSS styling to make it look great. Well, now we have ChatGPT. We can I can say, just convert all this into that. And you're going to run into some errors you got to fix, but it's fast, right? It's feasible, right? So the other thing is people remain loyal to products that they're using for decades while companies have moved on. Software development is expensive. Website development is expensive. You have companies, they do not want a new website. They spent $6,000 on their website 10 years ago. They don't want to do it. They don't want to spend another $6,000. They just want to fix the one that they have and not have that expense. So there's another reason why a lot of companies do this. All they want is support for their legacy e-commerce software, for Drupal, for OpenCart, for WooCommerce. The website's still functioning. If the website stops functioning, they want somebody to pay something very low money, like a couple $100, just to get it looking nice up front again. And all the back end stuff is like where they have the software developer told me this is really good, this is the state of the art, all this stuff. So that's how things work, right? So if I'm building products that support their products, which that's one of the products I'm building in, this isn't about investment for a while. They're still going to want support for the products, and I'm streamlining development for the products. So let's say an OpenCart, a company that uses OpenCart from 2014 wants Connects Marketing to build a module for their OpenCart store. I have software that does that. I can get them a module. Kicker, I am not making things up. In 2017, I was struggling with my work-life balance. I just got evicted from our townhome. I lost my car. We sold what we could and moved with Michelle's parents because of unfortunate circumstances. So I'm struggling with my work-life balance. And I need a quick way out. I study neuroscience some, working on an AI model in 2015 to figure out faster light travel for me, once again, because of my work-life balance. 221B, and that is still one of Aline Marketing's products that are going to be released here, is an AI model that was designed to figure out faster light travel. The way I work on problems like that are very big and obscure, and I make progress, so it's just going to sit there and do that all day. But hey, I can sell this to pharmaceutical companies and physics companies, and engineering, other types of engineering organizations, because it's all kind of in the same scope based on how it does work. And beyond that, I study people and I study software engineering. So I didn't really study AI. I studied the elements that were studied before AI became a thing that you study, right? So I know how to make AI because I know how to design neural networks with code. I know how to code. I know how to properly handle resource management, how to create algorithms that do specific tasks, right? And so all this comes together to do something more sophisticated, like taking plain English sentences and turning them into websites for my client specifications. And that was my plan. My plan is to build this system, build this bot, this AI bot. It doesn't take a lot of resources. It's designed to run on my laptop. I can have it run on a server also and have it code websites for me. I can send a text message to my server, to a phone number that goes to my server, and the AI bot gets the plain English text message. So I'm just sitting there in meetings, taking notes and sending texts over on my tablet, and it's designing a website. I'm not telling anybody that that's what I'm doing. And then I show them, okay, so I'm over here on my tablet, my laptop, while we're talking in the meeting, and then I put it on a projector and say, okay, what do you think of this? And they're going to be mind blown, right? Because they don't know about that I have an AI bot. It frees me up, my work-life balance, I can guarantee work is going to get done. That was one of the biggest problems I was having, is that how can I guarantee that it's going to be finished in a certain time frame when I run into all these problems? If I'm having computers solving unknown problems for me thousands of times faster than I would, it's going to get done. I can guarantee that's going to be done. So I'm designing this AI bot. I've already was designing another one called 221B. This is a different one. That solves problems.
Continue on York Road for half a mile.
That solves problems a little differently. It still uses neural networks, but it basically is designed to give you step-by-step instructions on how to do specific tasks in the jargon of the field that you're inquiring in and using their models. So people in that field can understand it, but it reduces the risks of terrorists being able to get a hold of it and using it. Because they have to educate themselves to actually
in a quarter mile, turn right onto East Haggard Avenue.
What it means, and if they're doing that, the probability is decreasing. I didn't say non-existence, it's decreasing that they're going to continue to remain terrorists. While it has a very strong ability to take data and find unknown values, it doesn't have any ability to actually put anything together, and that's what makes it pretty safe. So this one was something I was doing in secret, and it has the ability to put what I say together on my computer digitally, right? And to
continue for 2 miles.
Log into my servers for me, to upload code, to configure security. It can do all that, right? And the problem is actually really simple. The problem that we're trying to achieve is, if I say some move in this context, how is that going to translate to specific actions on the computer? It's not hard, it's just that you have to do it for it first, or you have to feed it data where it's being done. And it's basically like a dynamic macro where your words are your tokens, how I'm learning about mainstream AI tokens, and based on how these tokens are configured, it's going to cause the vectors to operate in the most probabilistic models based on the past experiences. And it's going to do something. See, that's the thing. When you're using words, it's like coding with plain English words. Something's going to happen. How do I put this? It's a very loose model of mathematical model where you're like querying nodes in a matrix, and each individual one has its own meaning, and depending on how they're connected together, it has a different meaning. But you are querying a data set that already exists, right, in a matrix. And so if you put different words together, the octopus flies high. It is going to land somewhere between its knowledge of octopi, octopuses, flying, and high. What does high look like? What do octopuses look like? What does flying look like? What does the octopus need to fly high? And see, that's the other thing, is that you can put constraints in the matrix on conforming to physical models where, okay, I'm going to resolve this, but I'm going to resolve it within the boundaries of physical models. And so now we have, it could be something as extreme as an octopus with wings that actually work, or it could be something like an octopus sitting on an airplane that's flying high, right? It really depends on where you put it. And because I need things to
take the next right onto Robin Hood Drive,
function, and I need things to be figured out relatively accurately to my specifications coming from my clients, and if it does something
continue
wrong,
on Robin Hood Drive for half a mile.
I need it to be able to correct itself. This is basically getting down into specializing the process of turning words into vectors relatively well, right? But the thing is, like I said, you're using words as the programming language. for this data set that exists in the matrix that's already there. It's already
In
trained.
a quarter mile, turn right onto Little John Lane East.
Something. It means something, even if it has no data about it at all, except for dispersed experiences. It means something. But see, that's when I realized is that
take the next right onto Little John Lane East. Then turn right onto Doncaster Lane.
I designed the system, and I designed where I'm going to get the training data. The training data is a combination of me working with it and YouTube, science and engineering YouTube videos.
Take the next right onto Doncaster Lane. Then your destination will be on the left.
Toddler courses and K-12 courses. So I can predict where things are going to land if I put this in, because I designed the entire system. So I can predict where it's going to land. So here I am. I'm thinking about, like, okay, I'm in marketing as Adam Etzel to be my own boss, because that was always my plans in entrepreneur. I was going along with people in these jobs. I don't want to go along with people any longer. I saw a way out. I took it. So of jobs. So I'm a freelance consultant for companies that need primarily web design, but when I get in there, I have the capabilities to do other things also. And they know that about me. My client wanted me to have a business. Before I was doing software engineering professionally, I was trying to build companies online, build an online company. While I was working at I worked 70 hours a week and went to school, and I'm trying to build this online company, Insanity Electronics. I quit. I just put building businesses aside for the moment. So what I was doing is building business to sell. Insanity Electronics was a business I was building to sell. Early marketing was a business I was building to sell. After I saw all the out-of-towners, I just kind of fell in love with like marketing and advertising. And I needed a domain name to be somebody other than Adam Etzel to comply with my most frequently paying client to be a company instead of be Adam Etzel. Because it just makes her clients feel better if she's working with another company instead of with an individual. Makes them feel better about security. So I was like, okay. I don't care. It's like, well, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll get that done for you. Okay. So I had this domain name that keeps floating over. And by this point, I'm like, okay, I'm in marketing, building websites to raise money for a robotics company so I don't have all these hands in the cookie jar. And I can decide, have more control over what happens in the robotics company. So I'm like, okay, well, I have this AI bot that, so I basically see that because I designed the system, I can kind of predict where it lands. I'm putting like things in my head, like, okay, what if I put this in it? Design a boat that doesn't sink. It is going to keep working on the problem until it resolves this situation within engineering math, of physical math regarding boats capsizing, right? And how big is the boat? I put the specifications in there. I designed a cargo ship that doesn't sink. Okay, so it's going to be a pretty big boat. And what it's going to do is it's going to move through areas with the least path of resistance for resolving, like it's like the words you're putting there, it's like an address, right? That's actually why 221B was called 221B, because first I wanted to do something to do with Sherlock Holmes, because the way I was thinking about the problem was like looking for clues and solving clues. But Watson was out, and I needed to steer clear of being too much like IBM, so I called it 221B for 221B Baker Street. It also kind of sounds like a robot name also, like 221-B sounds like a robot from Star Wars or something, right? So but it works because the system works by using words like an address. It's like, I'm looking for the address of how can a man uh, travel faster than the speed of light without becoming desynchronized with time on Earth or being destroyed, right? That is like the address of a structure within this data, right? It's going to pull the structure out, kind of like a face coming out through the fuzz on the TV. Here's what that looks like within the scope of your training data. So, it really just doesn't matter what you put in there. And so I thought, okay, let's design a boat that doesn't sink. And what I predicted that it is going to do, which it really doesn't matter what I predict what it's going to do, because if I want something to have a higher priority, like, okay, I need you to be more literal or something, it's like, I would just design it to do that, to be more literal within a specific scope. So, by adjusting the training data. So, or called fine tuning it. Or I could also develop modules for it that it communicates with and route how tasks are being accomplished. Some vectors are just being generated but not used, others are being used, that kind of thing. So I basically thought, it was like, okay, what it's probably going to do, my model, because it's such an obscure thing, my model is going to basically resolve, it's going to prioritize the fact that it's a cargo ship and it doesn't sink, right? The fact that it needs to move on water and carry cargo and not sink. And it's going to do it in the most efficient models possible. But okay, it's going to design a sphere. It's going to put a gyroscope in the sphere. Everything's going to be sitting on this gyroscope. And the sphere is going to have solar panels all around it and paddles. And its movement is connected to the gyroscope. It's keeping the gyroscope moving. It's powered by the sun. And it doesn't matter what happens to the sphere. The gyroscope is always keeping all the cargo and all the people in the same place at all times. And if it goes underwater, it doesn't matter. It just pops right back up. It doesn't sink. And of course, it's going to look at, okay, what if you crash into an object? How hard does it have to be? What materials? It's going through a materials database. Okay, what materials do we make this out of? We're going to make this out of graphene. How are we going to make that much graphene? Other faces are going to appear through the fuzz on the TV screen, and they're going to look like manufacturing facilities. This is how it works, right? And while it may take a long time for a laptop to actually resolve something that big, the fact is, it's just going to work on the problem. You put on faster architecture, more powerful architecture, and I had an AWS account, so I can just put on Amazon servers. It's going to work on the problem faster. It's going to get it done. But okay, now we look into scenarios like, okay, what if you ask it to build Smurfs? Okay, what is my model customized for? My model is customized for solving scientific and engineering problems. It's not customized for birthday parties and the language of people that don't believe in a lot of things that are currently possible. When I said Smurfs, I meant little animatronic robots, like little Smurfs. What is this? That is a human being that was basically genetically engineered by harvesting your eggs, your next door neighbor's sperm, putting it through an invasive education program after genetically modifying it with CRISPR, Cas9, and to be short and blue, and then putting it through an invasive education program where it has a life with other Smurfs, so it expresses the behavior that you want Smurfs to express, and is constantly looking out for this evil wizard, right? And then it woke it up, the robot woke it up in it was in a digital copy of your current room. It came up with a story for life experience and how it's going to get into that room. And then when it went to sleep within the cybernetic system, it woke up into the room it currently is, and there you are, and it's time for you and your 5-year-old's birthday party. It solved the problem. We gave it to a model that solves scientific and engineering problems. It's tailored to do that. It solved a scientific and engineering problem. This is the problem. Then I turn on the news and I see the news and I see Elon Musk and Mark Cuban. Everybody's freaking out. What is going on? Basically, Google is coming up with the same thing. Something similar to what I came up with, the Transformers. And I didn't know about Transformers then. But I'm predicting, okay, they know about, I can see it in the body language, they're extremely nervous. They know about what I'm calling Genie Land Paradox or reverse engineers paradox. And as a business person from the communication and saying maybe we can pay people with stocks, I can see what your plan here is. Okay, this is not good. In my models, what's going to happen is we're going to, as a sociologist and a social psychologist, kind of like as a hobby, since I was in elementary school, I wouldn't call myself a professional one, but it's been a hobby since I've been in elementary school, psychology and sociology. In my models, because I'm also an engineer and a scientist, my brain works in models, what is going to happen is you're going to make a very sad lower class that are sad all the time. You're going to make an upper class that is crumbling because they are trying to use backwards logic in maintaining your competitive advantages, and we're now going to start deceiving people, lying to people, saying things are good when we know we have something better for them. This isn't straightforward anymore. This is bullcrap. Maybe say it was always bullcrap. I hope you don't say that, but it's not always bullcrap. So I was like, okay, this is going to be my environment with me. This is going to be like a civil war because of people's, if they actually don't believe that this is possible. Someone gives a demonstration of a technological advancement, Singularity, and it looks like, this doesn't look like engineering, this looks like magic. We don't know how it's going to resolve that command exactly. I think constantly, and I come up with ways to resolve it. But what I'm saying is, it may be very different in your expectations. You may expect, like, okay, I want it to build a skyscraper, and you're expecting it to maybe bring out these kind of like these slow moving trucks coming out there, maybe robots kind of slowly putting this together over a couple months. It's done, and the results are that machines work very fast. It just solves the problem. It's a machine that builds machines that basically builds a skyscraper like it's manufacturing something on a manufacturing line. I don't like being redundant, but I think that's what it's called. At speed so fast, we have to use a high-speed camera to actually see what it's doing, and a skyscraper just goes up. Boom, skyscraper. How did it do that? It found a way to use the air more efficiently, and dirt. It's doing chemical reactions very quickly using dirt, light, electromagnetism. It's some French thing it figured out. It's just built a skyscraper. Okay. How do you think that this is going to make people feel when they actually see this? So first of all, what they're relying on is their disbelief. That's never going to happen. I'm always secure. I'm always safe. I'm always going to have the advantage cutting trees down. I'm always going to have the advantage in the construction industry. Then they see that, right? This is going to be panic, anger, fear, all at one time. I'm not concerned about the robots because people like me design the robots. Like, you don't understand how much is involved in this, apparently, because, not you, but just like people in general, because I'm not going to design a robot that takes over the world. I'm not. Like, I have to, like, do a lot of work to come to that result. I'm not going to do it. There's a lot of people that are not going to do that, right? There's, like, a lot of things we could do. Like, if you even take a chemistry course in high school, you know how to build bombs. Are you going to build a bomb? Probably not. Why? Bombs are unsafe. We don't want to hurt people. This is like normal, right? This is like normal. Okay, good. The problem isn't the machine. The problem is what it does in people's expectations when they didn't believe that this was possible. And they have their ideas about how things work are completely distorted. Many people are completely distorted. That's just the truth about reality that we're living in. Is that they are relying on models to make themselves feel better that are false. And this uproots everything. So I basically, like, I wanted to build a robotics company. It's not the best time for that because it's just going to piss people off. I'm not even going to make any money building a robotics company. Between other companies, this area is so competitive, they're just going to take my designs. They're going to use my designs to make new designs, trample me, because people get trampled out there today. There's just bullcrap going around in science and engineering world, and in even the academic world. Bullcrap. So they're just going to take my designs. They're going to try to cover me up. They're going to say this is theirs. They're going to go to their customers, and they're going to come up with a way to basically maintain it in a scope, going places that I want to go. Like basically seeding it with bullcrap to say things are impossible when they're not, in order to control the output, which is also going to sow lies in society. This isn't going to work. We need to fix the Civil War problem, right? That's why I designed elite marketing. It took me a lot of thought to actually come to this conclusion. It looks simple when you look at it because I made it simple. If I actually told you how this thing works, what the model happens within human psychology, I don't think you'd believe me. So I'm just going to avoid things that people are not going to believe to an extent. See, I strategically put stuff out there that I know is going to rub people's cognitive dissonance the wrong way. I'm ready to handle the turbulence. I'm actually doing something with the turbulence from saying something like that. Or I'm expecting other things to intervene, other people to intervene and do something with the turbulence because I said that, right? Some things I'm going to completely avoid. I'm telling you, I actually designed it for people, specifically for, this is what people don't understand. It's like, you cannot just take my business model and run off with it and say like anybody could have done this. Why doesn't it already exist? Why don't you just walk into a company, take a test, and get paid whatever you want? You can do whatever you want with money. It's not simple, okay? It took me a lot of work to actually come to this conclusion, right? This is the representation of raw things going on within human psychology, social psychology, neuroscience, group dynamics, sociology, macroeconomics, microeconomics, evolution, game theory. There's a lot that actually, I'm actually doing work, right? Coming to this conclusion. And I designed it for the purpose that when a person actually looks at what I say about how the business is designed, they say, okay, I understand it. That was the goal, right? I designed that. It's like you're looking at something saying, okay, I understand it. Anybody could have done this. No. Okay, I understand it. That was the goal that I designed for you to get to in your mind, right? By restraining it to what the model, what I have to communicate to the model, two things that fit well into your life. But what you're not seeing, you're seeing the way you think about it, right? You're saying, okay, I can take this test. I study for the test. They have a free training program. I go in there, and they're going to give me a revenue stream to control. I know I can succeed because of this, this, and this. This is what I want to do with it. This is how I'm going to help them. You're planning your whole future. That's great. That is what I wanted you to do, right? But what you're not seeing is what the math actually does. The huge math, and the many ways that people think. Different people come and look at the design. They say the same thing you say. They say, okay, I understand it, right? But they have completely different expectations, a completely different way of thinking. Republicans come in here, Democrats come here, Libertarians come here. They look at it, they say, this is what I wanted. They're all getting what they wanted. That is the primary principle and the problem that I had to solve, right? So don't just take my business model and run off with it and say anybody could have done this. They didn't. I designed that. It's like, what? It's a business model. There's a lot of math. Obviously, you don't design business models. There's tons of freaking math into that. So it's like, that is far more important. Getting that out to people is far more important than um, building a robotics company. It's like, I'm intrinsically motivated. I get a kick out of anything I'm doing. Like, I just like doing things. And so that's the other thing is I don't like being categorized into how other people, the younger millennials and Generation Z are like these huge, like, Elon Musk followers. I didn't even know about Elon Musk. And now I'm like, because like I have certain things in common with him, I'm like a wannabe Elon Musk. I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know what he looked like until 2019. It's like because I didn't care, right? And it's like this is what people do. We have to fix that, right? This business model is going to help you fix that because this is going to give you a lot more. And you have to have a lot more information about the world to pass these tests. And passing these tests, consequently, puts you in a risk pool where you are at a much lower risk for failure than you would have been without passing the test. And now it's like a driver's test for running a multi-million-dollar company. And we're going to fix a lot of problems.